Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World, and we're back to discuss the season 17 premiere of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The episode is entitled A Warm Welcome, and a warm welcome it was, y'all. But before we get into all that, I do need you guys to like the video because it helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourselves. If you are not a current subscriber, don't know what you're waiting on, but hit the subscription button. Become a Barb's babe. Y'all already know I would love to have you. Don't forget to drop down in those comments. Let me know what you guys thought of this premiere as well as my commentary. Follow me on all of my socials, y'all. Let me put my banner up. Okay, boom. We're right there. Also, turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, y'all. And let's jump in. How'd you guys feel about this premiere? How'd y'all feel? Two premieres in 1 week was a lot for me. And I only say that because, go away. I only say that because I found myself, I try not to compare, but I found myself at certain times comparing because of the high that I was on from The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I found myself just kind of comparing the two. But this premiere, it wasn't bad necessarily. I still have to kind of feel out a couple of the new faces that we saw. There's a couple of old faces that, quite honestly, I could have dealt without Shamea. But, I don't work in production, so I'm going to just take what they give us. If I had to rate this season's premiere on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, I would give it like between a 7.5 and an 8, okay? And that's no shade at all. I do feel like we are still in for a decent enough season. I will say it didn't disappoint me as much as I honestly, keeping it 1,000% clear with you guys, I did think that this season was I wasn't excited for this season. If you guys watch my, I don't know if was that a Bravo 411 I did, or I think no, recapping the trailer and stuff, I wasn't too sure how I felt coming into this. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm gonna still watch, of course, but I wasn't on the edge of my seat based off the trailer. So I was already going into it kind of like, okay, let's see what it gives. And again, it didn't disappoint necessarily, but am I going to sit here and say I was wowed? No, I wasn't. But enough of all that, y'all. Let's jump into this because I also am going to be doing The Real Housewives of Rhode Island right after this. So boom. Season kicks off with what many of us thought was Porsha sitting down, and we quickly get these glimpses of the different clips from the upcoming season. And then Miss Mama clicks the TV off, turns around, and it is none other than Cynthia, cheekbones, Cynthia, what else is going on, child? Bailey. And that's actually literally what she said. She was like, what else is going on? And is it just me, or does it look like Cynthia may or may not have done something a little bit to her face, which she absolutely didn't need to do, if you ask me? I seen her just a few years ago in person, and she gives exactly what she's always given on the show. That face card is never declining, so I don't necessarily understand why she felt the need to do any tweaks or whatever, but it's her face, not mine. Then we roll right into the opening little snippets, the little clips that we get of the ladies over, doing their thing. Phaedra could have dealt without her. If y'all know how I feel about Phaedra. If you guys were here last season and whatever, you already know. Ugh. And if you caught my Married to Medicine recaps and reviews in the past, you already know I could do without Phaedra. But again, I'm not on production, so we just gonna have to take it for what it is. Hey, Harold. Oh, good to see you in here. Thank you for coming through. Adore you. Hey, Chris, what else is going on? Exactly. What else is going on? I already saw Kelli dropping Chloe off on her Instagram. I want to say like over the summer or whenever school started. Obviously, I guess it's like August. And I mean, I thought the dorm was cute. I thought it was, good for a dorm. I never lived in a dorm, so I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it to. I thought it was cute. A lot of people online though thought it was a mess. Y'all let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Meanwhile, Angela, she was grilling this burger for Charles. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, when I first watched the show, I also was like cooking and doing some things. So I didn't even catch what the burger looked like specifically. But when I watched it back for a second time, child, oh my God. Talk about dry, talk about what in the hockey puck, talk about I need something to wash this down. It didn't look like there was any type of condiment up on there, not even like a moist onion like on there. There was no tomato, like there was nothing. There was nothing there. But he said it was good. We know that the cook in the house is Charles. It's not Angela, but she wanted to cook for her man, so we just gonna let her do that, right? So she says, as we all know, he does troll. He's always kind of making jokes a little bit at her expense. So on a recent podcast, I believe it was, Charles had said, when asked what made him get married, he replied saying, well, somebody might have put something in my drink that night. Y'all let me know what, likewise, good to see you. Yes. Y'all let me know, how do you guys feel about Charles always joking with Angela? Do you guys feel like that's just his character? Do you guys feel like that's just their dynamic? What do you guys feel like? I mean, ultimately, because he shows up for her more than other husbands on this show, and we'll get into that here shortly, I have to say, if she is going to accept it, if that's how she enjoys to communicate with him in their marriage, then that's just on her. I did clock it last season, but ultimately I'm not her. So if she's going to accept that, then okay. But for me, that would just get kind of like tiring. That would get old for me after a certain point. Like, yeah, I can joke with the best of them, of course, y'all, but when it's always just sorry, y'all, the sky is about to storm over here again. Pray for us. Pray that I don't lose power, because I actually lost power on Sunday too, which is another reason why I was thrown off when it comes to this episode, because I don't know why, but Mother Nature is just really doing her big one over here on the islands. And I'm just over it. So just keep us in your prayers, y'all. Ugh, I hope it's not as bad as the one a couple weeks ago. We still haven't fully recovered on the other parts of the island. We haven't fully recovered from that. So oh my goodness. But back to the episode. She says that it was actually him that planned for them to get married. So again, y'all let me know what you guys think of this episode, or of their dynamic. Sorry. Harold said, and Charles was eating nothing with that bread. I saw like some, what those like Tostitos, like what those, like what there's about 4 chips, a dry naked ass patty, and that's it. Like, goodbye. Yeah, no lettuce, tomato, pickle, bacon, mustard, mayo, relish. Like, I don't care. Put something on that. I know your taste buds were like, what are you about to have us trying to taste. There ain't no taste here. Like we are risking our lives. We are risking the possibility of choking on this motherfucking sandwich, on this motherfucking burger, and it's not even good. Like, come on now. I'm a medium rare, medium girl anyway, so no, absolutely not. It might be his nature, but I think there's some truth in jokes. I do agree. I do think that I feel like that just in life in general. So that's why I wanted to ask you guys how you guys felt about it. It just seems like it's nonstop, and I feel like if it was balanced out with some affection or some type of like verbal attraction, I feel like it would go over a lot better with a lot of us. But again, that's as Angela, we know she's sticking beside her man. Moving right along, Shamea, her palace, we see that her and Kelli are still claiming to be each other's BFF. Y'all let me know, how long do you guys feel like this is going to go on for? Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. So Kelli's telling Shamea and her mom how she dropped Chloe off. She's getting acclimated to college life, much to Kelli's. She's feeling like sad. This is her oldest. She's left the nest, and that has her, kind of emotional, rightfully so, right? And so when her and Shamea continue on that conversation, Shamea starts to put like some items in a basket as though she is preparing like a little gift basket for Chloe. I'll just say right here, right now, y'all, just so we're clear, that was absolutely out of fucking line what Shamea did. I don't care what you guys say. You can call me a hard ass. You can say whatever you want about me, but that was absolutely out of line. And let's say Chloe is indulging in a little bit of underage drinking or whatever at college. I'm not going to say that people don't do it every day. I'm not going to say that that is absolutely despicable, because it does happen or whatever. But I, as my friend's friend, I'm not going to assist her in that, especially on national TV. Shamea, like, what are we talking about? There's a lot of offenses there. Not only like there's a zero tolerance policy for underage drinking, sure of that. And then is she even supposed to have that like on campus in general? Like, what are we talking about here, Shamea? And then you adding on condoms and pregnancy tests. If I was Chloe, I would be like, no, thank you. You can keep this, because what do you out of all that money you got, you could get her a cute little designer planner. You couldn't get her some various gift cards that she could use or whatever to buy some little, things, or gift cards to some restaurant chains and stuff like that. Are you fucking kidding me, Shamea? No, she was dead serious, and that's the issue. Moving right along, y'all. Kelli, we clearly see that she is still gunning for Porsha. I feel like this season, I didn't really care too much for that behavior from her last season. I felt like she had an agenda coming into the season. She had an agenda to come after Porsha, and I feel like that's only been intensified now that her and Shamea are BFFs, or whatever they want to refer to themselves as. Because the conversation quickly turns into, one, Shamea wanting to launch this rum company, this rum business, because she feels like she wants to bring something to the table also, even though I'm 99.9999999% Gerald is not looking at her to bring to the table anything. I feel like he is very probably traditional in that sense. Girl, she even admits she's not even business savvy. So it's just like, you talking about he's invested 100 or over well into the six figures on your music career. You about to waste y'all some more money, because do you even know what you're doing for sure? I guess only time will tell on that one. But moving back into the part of the conversation surrounding Porsha, Kelli, she's wondering who Porsha's going to bring to Simon's house. Simon's house that is now, her divorce is finalized. It's now Porsha's house, at least for the next couple years, right, y'all? Again, I just don't want to see Kelli just going so hard at Porsha all season. It's tired, in my opinion. But Shamea, when I say, is this, this is when she starts to mime out what was said in their text thread, because she didn't quite catch everything that was said at the reunion. She had to watch it back. And then from there, her and Porsha had this text conversation that got kind of heated. We don't know what was actually said. And I feel like production, that's you dropped the ball on that one, because we should have saw those actual screenshots, because all like what, and it went on for so long, y'all. And this is why, between the fashions and behavior like that, that's why I just never saw it for Shamea. She looks good. She looks good. Mama looks amazing. Hear me when I say it. And that's actually something I peeped closely following last season's wrap-up conclusion. She was online looking very much snatched since then. So I wasn't surprised when she came on the scene. Titty sitting, ass sitting, doing her big one when it comes to the body. I was not surprised by that. But these are the types of antics I just can't do. I just can't do when it comes to her. I can't, y'all. It's just, I just want to fast forward it. Some people found it funny. I did not. Y'all tell me, how did you guys feel? And is Gerald coming with her to this party? Only time will tell. Only time will tell, right? Moving right along. Porsha, speaking of her party, this is pretty much the remainder of the episode is focused on this. She couldn't even get the title right. Is it Mystic Dinner? Is it Majestic Island Dinner? What is it, Porsha? It's your event. You should know, but 265 days a year, right? Yeah. Anyway, so Cynthia, she comes up in the building first. She's alone. Her boyfriend is not with her. I don't know. He tours and he's into music, so that may be the case. Or I also know, based on watching her on her own podcast and her speaking publicly about just not feeling the urge to have her relationship on display in this season of her life. She's done that 1, 2, 3 times again, and she's just not in that space anymore. So I mean, I wasn't surprised that he was there regardless. Angela and Charles, they come through. Angela's still stuck on the fact that Porsha is having a couples night so fast after, the ex-husband situation or whatever. But that's just where we are. Oh man. Oops, y'all, I gotta go back because I'm sorry. How did I forget? So one of the new faces we get, what did Harold say? Looking like a clown dancing in the confessional, like rerun from What's Happening. Exactly. Like, girl, stop. Like, she's just so extra in the worst possible way. And I can do without it. I really can. I wish she wasn't corny like this, because I think she's beautiful, but her personality just has never done it for me. I'm sorry, it hasn't. Going back though, y'all, again, I do apologize. We are introduced to K. Michelle through Porsha, I found that kind of interesting. A lot of us are already familiar with K. Michelle. A lot of us were introduced to her through either like her music or Love and Hip Hop. She was on Love and Hip Hop, I feel like, and it's like golden era. And I wasn't sure how I felt about her coming into onto this show. I don't dislike her, but she's always been someone I could take or leave. I did watch her on and her now husband on, was it couples therapy, relationship boot camp or whatever. So I kind of am already a little bit familiar on their history, but she lets Porsha know that they got married just a few weeks before this season started filming, and I'm like, the production get in your ear and say, girl, yeah, we gonna need him to put a ring on it ASAP or what have you. I don't know, but she got married just a couple weeks prior to the season popping off, and she doesn't hesitate to list her accolades, rightfully so. And at the same time, she also regards Atlanta as kind of, I guess she would say, like a bittersweet place for her, because it's caused her a lot of sadness, madness, depression, what have you. Again, if you guys watched her, especially on like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, being like dismissed as far as the abusive relationship she was in with her ex. She has been through a lot, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. The way she's explaining this, I'm not gonna say she played a part in just the absolute disgusting dismissal of, again, her abuse or anything like that, but I'm not going to sit here and act like she was just some idle cast member. She was just so idle in these situations. I feel like just as much as she got it, Kay can also dish it. So, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons why people were excited for her to come on the show, is because, girl, when it comes to the reads, when it comes to giving attitude, giving that spice that we like to see on a show, I do think she's capable of it. It just, again, she's just never been the main person on a show that I gravitated towards, but I'm still trying to keep an open mind, y'all. And so we also know she has transitioned from R&B into country. And I do think she's an amazing singer, though. I will never lie and be a Drew when it comes to that. I think she is a great singer. I think she's very multi-talented. And then panning over to Porsha and what she has going on. Like I said before, her divorce is now final. Won't he do it? I know she is just so enthused by that, because the way Simon was whacking her at every twist and turn of life, I know she's glad that that is behind her, because he wasn't letting up. And quite honestly, I'm surprised that he didn't come out and say something once this episode premiered. But again, we are only a couple days out. Who knows? Maybe he didn't get to watch it until now. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point during this season he starts up his ish again, y'all. Just I don't feel like I'm naive in saying that based on history, right? So again, she was able to keep the marital home at least for the next couple of years. But it looks like, based on what she's saying, she plans on really sticking beside this house for the long term. And I just don't understand that, because you could be seeing a lot more of your money if you just decide to sell this. You'll still get a cute little coin off of it, because of, shout out to the prenup being upheld. I don't understand why you are so dead set on wanting to stay up in this big old house, Porsha. It's very foolish, if you ask me. But in that same breath, I got to give it to her when it comes to this episode. Did I also feel like that was a boss bitch ass move to have a party and bring your, it's not really her man, so mm-mm. But for this episode's sake, her man, did I think that was a boss ass move to bring him into the ex-husband's house or whatever? I did find that funny, especially again, seeing as though Simon had so much to say every single day for so long about her. I do feel like that was a slap in the face, and it's like, motherfucker, you can't do nothing about it. So yeah. What else? I already kind of sensed there might have been some beef, or there wasn't much enthusiasm already between Kay and Drew. Did anybody else peep that, or is it just me? Because when Porsha was telling her all of who's going to be there, all of who's like in the group or whatever, she says Drew and I don't know. I feel like I picked up on something not only when that was said, but also in the reverse when Drew heard about Kay or whatever. She also, I feel like, spoke to that same tune. And I get the confessionals, they're filmed after the season or whatever. I get that this is still a reality TV show, but I already kind of sensed something right from the get-go with them. Anywho, again, Porsha, she's having this upcoming couples dinner type of event, so everybody is invited, including her best friend Shamea. Just kidding, that's not my ex best friend. Interesting, right? But yeah, that's pretty much that. So fast forward, going back again to this dinner. Drew being on FaceTime the entire time with Black, who she said she wasn't dating last season, but it appears as though she actually is. See, this is why a lot of people just can't get behind Drew, and it's because we don't know what to believe at all. And just like I say, if you guys watch my Real Housewives of Potomac recaps reviews, you already know that when it comes to these ladies, we as the audience, we need to be able to believe something. There needs to be something that we can't question. And I just don't feel like we get that from Drew. And it's grown to be really tiring all these seasons into the mix with her. And I feel like this is no different. You say you weren't dating him, but now you are, but not, or it's just like, girl, you could have just said that from the get-go. Like, why do you act like this? And mind you, Ralph is still in the basement at this point in time. It's just too much. It's just too much and not enough for her at the same time. But, they keep bringing her back. So it is what it is. Kay was like the only one that didn't get the memo to wear all black, even though it said all black affair on the invitation. But I digress. Porsha does give her a wedding gift, which I thought was nice of her. And according to Porsha, her introducing anyone to a new person in her life is a big deal because she hasn't done so since Dennis. And I was like, yeah, I bet you haven't done so since Dennis, because you were able to fly right on past us when it came to being held accountable and having to speak on how you and shout out to Bucky Blue, Dennis Daddy. You skirted right on past us when it came to him, and you never had to speak on that one. I wasn't paying attention to Shamea and Kelli. No shade. I don't fault you on that at all. I missed that. Sorry. I don't fault you on that at all, Harold, because I'm not buying this friendship between them two. And I really did start liking Kelli last season, but I guess as soon as she linked up with Shamea, she just started clicking down for me. I'm sorry, she did. But they're very much on par when it comes to the fashions. I'll tell you that much. Drew needs to be off the show. Why is Ralph still in the basement? He got the money to move out. According to him, right? I thought he had all this money or whatever. You would think that he would want to get out the house, but here we are, season another season, he's still down in the basement. For what it's worth, Drew has been these girls' storylines for the past 2 seasons. Absolutely correct. I can't deny that. She carried season 15 on her back as majority of the cast made it a point to have beef with her. You are not lying, Harold. I can't take that away from her. But when it comes to her, just as an individual, and what she has going on in terms of just the most minute details, I feel like we need a landing point. We need a little bit more undeniable truth from her. Just crank it up a notch. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Drew has the makings to be that girl. I always felt like she should be that girl, but it's something that throws it off when it comes to her. And I feel like that's the lies. You know, if she would just come with a little bit more truth behind it, I feel like she would fare a lot better in the eyes of the viewers. I do. Shamea and Kelli friendship makes sense. It makes him look like a bad example. Yeah, I do feel like Shamea and Kelli's friendship makes sense for now, but the minute that Porsha decides to bring back Shamea into the friendship fold, it's not going to withstand that. I feel like Kelli will be immediately replaced again, because for some odd reason we haven't forgotten the fact that Shamea is. I still feel like Shamea is still this person deep down inside, right? I mean, you know, once a guard dog, always a guard dog, if you ask me. And right now she just at the doggy hotel. Okay. She's at the doggy Airbnb, long-term Airbnb. But once Porsha goes and decides to pick up her pooch, they're gonna be right back to this, right? Yeah. I don't feel like I'm off color by saying that, y'all. No shade. It is what it is. She posed for it. She's still that person. Exactly. Like, we see each other, Harold. We see each other. It's crazy because the both of them have become so performative in a bad way. Yeah. It's a lapdog. Yes. Like, how are you a lapdog to a lapdog? Like, a lapdog to a lapdog is absolutely crazy and could never be me, like, at all. And it's just it's a friendship of convenience. It's a friendship based on a common enemy, and that's not a solid enough foundation. But we gonna stay tuned in, right? So again, K. Michelle, her new husband, who's been the same person in and out of her life since 9th grade. I, again, was already kind of familiar of their journey based on that couple show. But she says that things intensified between them this final go around when she was on Queen's Court, and it wasn't so much that he a light bulb went off and he came to his senses as much as she held his feet to the fire. And I'm just like, I don't know if I would admit that, because at the end of the day, I'm never going to, I'm not going to stick around. It's either you know or you don't know. And if you don't know, you can be left in the dust, because the person who's for me is going to know they for me, and it's that's just going to be what it's going to be. I'm talking as if I was her, obviously. But yeah, I also wouldn't admit that I'm like, I wouldn't admit that, because that could be a little awkward. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what I also found funny at this dinner was Charles and K. Michelle, though. I did quickly start to realize, okay, maybe this is why she was brought on. I did kind of laugh when Kay was like, you know, I don't really know much about Charles, but you know, he's an asshole, and I get along with assholes, or I know assholes, whatever she said. I did find that funny. I do hope that we see more of those moments throughout the season. And what I also hope to see or not see is Porsha playing in our faces, because before we know it, she brings out Mike, who a lot of us were introduced to on Ready to Love. He's, I guess, since then started to turn into this this person that just pops up on different platforms, on different skits, on other shows, movies, whatever. He's been doing that. So I do think this was just another opportunity for him. I do feel like she could have just sat up there and been by herself, but this is Porsha, and like she really allowed this man to even like come in, and I don't know if he was trying to be funny or not, but for him to even pose as though he was the man of the house or anything was just so cringy and just like tired to me, just like him sitting at the head of the table with her. Like, girl, if you don't tell him to go, if you don't sit on your left or your right, goodbye. It could never be me. You know what else could never be me? Some of these fashions and some of these looks. I didn't dislike Shamea's mohawk, but it's just like, because it's on her, trust me, I am not a hater at all, y'all. I'm always going to give credit where credit is due. I'm always going to try to remain unbiased when it comes to stuff. But it's just like, because I feel like, because I know she's like trying to be different and trying to like be out of the box and be unique and all this type of stuff, it almost like it has a reverse effect on me for some reason. I don't know. But you know what didn't have a reverse effect on me, y'all? Once again, mama looks amazing. Like, whoever got her together and sucked and snatched it on in, did their big one, y'all. Because while everybody is getting acquainted and sitting around the table over at Porsha's, we also have Shamea and Pinky over at her house. And she is the one that actually introduces us to Pinky, who, if I had to name one person who I absolutely was just like, again, could leave or take, wasn't necessarily excited to see her come on to the show, it would be Pinky. Oh, Chris says Pinky is good for the show. Again, I'm gonna keep an open mind. I again, where I'm speaking from, y'all, is not to be shady at all. And just because I don't quite see it for a person, or because I'm not drawn to a person, doesn't mean that my I can't change my mind, or that person needs to be off the show, or they don't have a place on the show. But like, coming into it, I was just like, okay, what's it gonna give? And what I will say is the way that these two new ladies, K Michelle and Pinky in particular, brought on, I do feel like, and I'm sure we're going to get it in the next episode or whatever, I do feel like, especially for K Michelle, it should have been a little bit more of a grander introduction, I feel, especially for the ones who aren't familiar with her from Love and Hip Hop or any of her other her music ventures or anything else like that. I do feel like they could have given a little bit more, other than like a 2-second like snippet of a a photo shoot. And just like with Pinky, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with how she came up on the scene. It just, I don't know. I thought it would be more of like a glorified moment, I guess, so to speak. But nonetheless, she's that girl in Atlanta, so she says. She's a lover, not a fighter. She's built in $100 million brand, and apparently, I'm not familiar with her husband either. Apparently, he's also very accomplished. And side note, y'all, I've been hearing a lot of the whisperings, a lot of the rumors, a lot of the additional information that's came down the way of the blogs and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to do a Bravo 411, hopefully at a later time this week, about what I've been hearing on the sidelines about like what she has going on, as well as even over on Rhode Island. I gotta talk about that at a different time. But yeah, that was our introduction to Pinky, and they drinking and pre-gaming and doing all the things or whatever. And Shamea actually calls Gerald to see where he is. And I'm just like, Shamea, why are you lying? You knew he wasn't coming. He knew he wasn't coming. We knew he wasn't coming. So why do we even need to hear this little 2-second conversation right now? Talking about, oh, where you at, babe, or whatever. I got his matching outfits laid out. You were fully dressed. Pinky and her husband were at your house fully dressed. And you really calling, asking this man where he is? Like, goodbye. You already knew he wasn't coming. Apparently his flight got rerouted to Charlotte or whatever. So he's not gonna make it. And although when we do get husbands on certain shows, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here for it. I like it. I do like also in the golden days of Housewives, how Atlanta back seasons and seasons ago had a core good group of men that gave us some good TV. I also like even watching like Jersey. I do like how the men come together on that show and stuff like that. So it is possible. But on the flip side, there is other franchises like some of the others that the men aren't needed. It's cool. I don't mind them not playing a part at all. But when it comes to this show, and if we are gonna turn in that direction of trying to bring the men back more into the fold and stuff like that, it would be nice to see like Shamea's husband come in and film with her more. But what have we gotten? Like one scene with him at her like birthday party or whatever. That's just not his vibe. And I feel like she tries to act like that doesn't bother her or whatever. And she's, always solo and that's just her or whatever. But I feel like it does. I feel like she probably would wish that he would be there. They need to bring that one show back with Malaysia. Sorry, off topic. Basketball Wives? Or was she on another show? I think she was just on Basketball Wives, right? Okay, so where was I at? Yeah, they're getting ready or whatever. Before we know it, Porsha at the same time is filling in everybody about Mike, who again I don't believe to be somebody she's really in a situationship, in a talk situation, dating situation with at all. I don't think they're in any type of situation other than a business partnership proposition situation where she said, hey, I need you to come on here and film this with me. And he wanting, to continue to elongate, to continue to increase his 15 minutes of fame, probably was like, yeah, sure, I'll come on there. And that's just what it was, because they started up like after the pandemic. They talked, decided to keep things cool, and everybody's wheels are starting to turn because it's like the math ain't mathing, girl. Wasn't Simon in the picture at that time or whatever? Like, what are we talking about? You can't even keep your lies straight now. Like, come on, girl. So, I can't remember the name of that. I did watch that. That's another one of those that they canceled, right? Was that the one with like, wasn't like Ty Dolla $ign's ex on there too or whatever? I gotta come back with that name. But thank you for jogging my memory. See, another canceled show. They just keep canceling the shows. They might know Charles K, Michelle husband, and Pinky husband. Yeah, maybe. But obviously Gerald ain't gonna be there. Gerald ain't never gonna be there. So before we know it, in walks Shamea and Pinky. And when I say they was spilling drinks and they were feeling real groovy, and I was just kind of like, okay. Wouldn't have been how I came onto the scene, but again, I'm not on the show. They are. And like a good host, Porsha actually does go up to Shamea and they greet each other, and it's very much a pleasant, let me show all of my teeth and smile and act like I am just so happy to be here right now. Oh my goodness, this is such a lovely home. Goodbye. Not buying it, but they did keep it, cute. Hey girl, kissy kissy. Phaedra of all people, I was really taken aback by how she came into the confessional talking about how freaking how Shamea is looking or whatever. Like, yeah, did she try to like pay her a compliment, I guess, by saying that? Sure, she did. But I just feel like that's rich coming from people like Phaedra, who last time I checked came onto this show looking like this. Don't worry about what she can afford to fill, flip, nip, tuck, whatever. I just don't feel like Phaedra should ever say anything good, bad, or indifferent about anybody when it comes to plastic surgery, because she came on this show looking like that. And we will never forget that one. The North remembers, child. One interesting thing I clued in on was Kelli and Pinky. I'm like, okay, that should be interesting, because it does seem like somebody's lying. Because according to Pinky, she DM'd Kelli and she left her on red. But according to Kelli, Pinky ain't a girl's girl. She is the one that actually left her on red. So I'm sure obviously we're going to get more into that as the season develops, but that is one thing that I actually was interested in hearing more about. Mind you, y'all, at the same time, all this is still going on, and Black is still on Drew's phone. Like, girl, what? And so then she has audacity to ask Shamea where her husband is. And Shamea's like, girl, the same place your date is in. It's like, oh, traveling or whatever. Well, actually, coincidentally, yes, he is. But I'm just like, Drew, I just would have sat this one completely out, because that's going to be such an easy read for them when it comes to you. Because why is this man really sitting up on the ring light on the phone for 3+ hours? Does he have nothing else to do for 3+ hours? He looked way too happy to be there on the phone. Could never be me. Would never be me. I don't find Phaedra funny, but to be completely honest, I did chuckle a little bit when she said, Porsha, please write a book. Tell us the ways of your vagina, because it's strong and it's a trapper. I felt like that was funny, because I'm like, are you calling your frick, your frack, a hoe? Like what do you, what? I did think that was just just a touch funny, but still not funny enough for me to say she should still be on the show, because ultimately I can't take Phaedra. But I did laugh a little bit at that, y'all. Just like I also laughed at production was a fool. Oh my goodness. Production was a fool when they allowed Simon, the ghost of Simon, to walk past as Porsha and Mike were having this little fake ass marriage moment or whatever, officiated by Kelli, narrated by Kay. I did find that so funny. Shout out to production on that one. Good editing. And before we know it, y'all, they actually what's it called? Freaking dispersed into two groups. We got the guys over here doing a little bit of cigar circle time, and then we got the ladies over here, and that's kind of where the conversation begins to take a turn. And what I will say, just to keep this this brief, y'all, because I got to go and jump into my Real Housewives of Rhode Island right after this. So stay tuned. Meet me over there. Is okay. Again, I feel like you getting up to walk away and go be with the guys. Like, again, rich coming from you, because I feel like you've been through much worse. I feel like you've been around much more chaos. So I wasn't really buying that. And I love that Angela actually was like, no. You're not getting out this one. We need you back on over here. I also laughed when Drew was reenacting Shamea, because with the whole I'm from Decatur, bitch. I felt like that was spot on and sounded just like Shamea. Now that is how you do imitations. And I don't really care about what's going on between Phaedra and Angela, stemming from last season, because we're literally one episode in, y'all, and Phaedra's already lying and being caught in her lies. Did you or did you not see the tapes, have the tapes pulled? We go from, yes, that was the case, to, oh no, well I asked about them, and that's what I was told, or whatever. Like, goodbye. Those are two starkly different things. And this is why I don't really understand why people keep asking for Phaedra to come back, because all she does is lie. All she does is and toot her face up and follow behind Porsha's lead. Again, I could do without her. What else? Obviously, in the end, they decide to table things, because while Porsha is a lot of things, and one of them is somebody who likes to lie sometimes, is somebody who likes to, skirt off into the sunset with people's husbands and Hennessy. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. I did appreciate her getting Kelli together to let her know, like, hey, girl, you're trying to pry into the business between me and Shamea, and that's not your business, because Kelli knows damn well if that's your new BFF, you know damn well what all went down in those text messages. You didn't need to get in a group setting and ask me shit. So get out of here. That's exactly how I would have treated Shortcake too, because you're not about to get another season two off my back, because again, y'all, I don't see it a different way. I feel like Kelli came in with an agenda to come after Porsha, and I feel like she's still on that type of time, even in her sophomore season. But like I said in the beginning, this wasn't a bad first episode, y'all. It was cute or whatever. Still, tuned in to see what this season brings. I gave you, my rating and everything of this season. And also shout out to Cynthia. I'm sorry. Shout out to Cynthia. She played her part as a friend of, to keep the story going, just as Angela did too. Shout outs to both of them. I'm still locked in. I will definitely be back here next week to discuss episode 2, of course. But y'all let me know what you rate this episode, what you rate this premiere in the comment section. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Thank you for being here, even on short notice. I miss Marlo. Yeah, Marlo still is always going to be in my Mount Rushmore of friends of when it comes to Housewives, where she will remain forever and ever. It wasn't until she became a full-time housewife that I had to get off the bus with her. Okay, Chris gave it a 10 out of 10. Okay, cool. I respect it. Kelli doesn't know Porsha well enough to say the things that she does to her. It's not fun shade. It just comes off as if she's coming for her on behalf of Shamea. It does, but I'm not even going to say on behalf at this point. Okay, I think it's on behalf of her and Shamea, because again, going back to last season, she came in just as you're saying. I feel like 100% confirm in agreement with everything that she supposedly heard on the streets about her or through the grapevine or what have you. I feel like that was a part of her plan for her to come in and go after Porsha, just like again, Bang Bang, shout out to Rodney Boys. Bang Bang Edie was coming in trying to go after Kenya. I feel like they both had that type of agenda going for themselves, and I feel like Kelli is still on that type of time, and I'm gonna need her to back up on off that and give us something else, because it's honestly going to be tiring to see. Hey brother. Hey Sodeb. Hey Andre. Shannon. Marlo was fired from Real Housewives of Atlanta too. Yeah. Marlo, again, because of the flop she was as a full-time housewife, I feel like that really just tarnished things for her. I feel like she should have always stayed a friend of, and it's because of her that I actually now am a little bit I'm a little bit more apprehensive about just throwing out, oh my God, such and such should be promoted from just a friend of, such and such should be a full-time cast member now. I'm a little bit more apprehensive about just throwing that out there all willy-nilly because of what happened with Marlo specifically. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for real. We gonna skirt on over here and talk about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I will literally be right back in 2.2 seconds over there, y'all. So if you enjoyed my commentary on this episode, please meet me over there. And let's also continue the conversation about the Real Housewives of Atlanta here in the comments section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to you guys for coming through for your girl. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, we'll get back to it next week. Bye.